Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about parts of speech. I don't have it open yet. Here's the PowerPoint, and I'm just going to talk you through it. Okay, make this bigger. All right, so there's 8 parts of speech. There's also things called articles. Articles are words like a and the before a noun. Okay, so let's go over nouns. Nouns are either person, place, thing, or an idea or a concept, like something abstract. So person, places, or things can be general, like a boy, or can be something named, and they're called proper nouns, like John. Or any name, the name of a county, the name of a town, the name of a continent, the name of a play, the name of a book. All of those are nouns. Okay, so the boy is playing in the street. We have boy, that's a person, and the street is a thing. So Leo is a named boy. He's also a noun. Of course, we know street is a noun, and the ball is an object. Okay, most of the students live in Cecil County. We have students, right? It's a general noun, common noun, and Cecil County is a named place, also a noun. I want to quit my job so I can have my freedom. Freedom is a concept. It's not something you can touch or even see. Silence is golden. Silence is also a concept. So it's a noun. Okay, so there are some nouns that look like verbs. We'll get back to that later, but dancing is a big part of my life. It's not something I'm doing. It's the name of an activity. My life is also a noun. I'm going kayaking. Going is the verb. Kayaking, even though it has an ing on the end of it, is not really acting as a verb. It's the name of an activity. So it's a noun. All right, and there we go. Pronouns take the place of a noun. There's personal pronouns. Personal to me, you, somebody else, or a thing, it. Any of the above that end with the suffix self or selves, like myself, herself, themselves, any of those are pronouns. Then there's pronouns that demonstrate, interrogate, meaning question, or relate to something. So they demonstrate, right? Means they point to something. This, that, those. This is a marker. Those are sunglasses. Interrogative. Who does this pen belong to? Who is a pronoun. Whom, same thing. Which, same thing. What, same thing. And whose, right? They all ask questions. I'm sorry. If you say which of these is yours, then it's interrogative. It's a relative, then we're saying something like it's relating back to something else, like I have a bird feeder which sits in my backyard. So indefinite pronouns are words that end in one thing or body, like someone, something, somebody, no one, nothing, nobody, everyone, everything, everybody. And they're singular. Plural are words like many, few, several. So if I say several of the students are getting A's, that's a pronoun. But if I say, I know this sounds really crazy, but if I say several students, now I'm asking the question, how many students? And so that's an adjective, and we'll get back to that later when we get to adjectives. Okay, so pronouns. Find all the pronouns. We could say my friend, but that actually is acting as an adjective. Invited me, pronoun, to a Japanese tea ceremony at her house. Now, her also says which house, answers the question which house, so it could act as an adjective. I will never mark it wrong if you put it as a pronoun, just so you know. What happens at the tea ceremony? I asked as we entered the room. I is a personal pronoun. We, personal plural pronoun. The tea ceremony is a custom that dates back hundreds of years. It is supposed to create a peaceful mood. It is a pronoun that refers to a concept, right? The tea ceremony. Everyone sits quietly and watches the tea being made. Everyone is a pronoun. Before entering, I reminded myself, anything ending in self, remember, to take off my shoes. My could be an adjective, or because it's answering which shoes, my shoes. Each of us kneeled on a straw mat. So each is a pronoun, so is us. Hideko's mother was our tea hostess, the person who conducts the ceremony and prepares all of the tea. So our tells which tea hostess, could be an adjective. Some people say possessive pronoun. Who, the person who, right, relates back to person. Prepares all is also a pronoun. Okay, so you see here these possessive pronouns also function as adjectives. We will treat them as adjectives in this course. That's how I prefer, because that's how they actually function. All right, so let's go to adjectives. We go next to adjectives because adjectives modify nouns or pronouns. So they answer the question, which one, what kind, or how many. So either way, we can ask the question, which way, either way. Remember which one. Which day, the next day. Which girls, those girls. Answering the question, what kind, gray skies, right? What kind of skies? Gray skies. They could be cloudy skies. They could be tumultuous skies. All right. What kind of price? The lowest price. It could be a cheap price. Could be a great price. What kind of story? A crazy story. It could be my story. It could be a sad story. How many, right? Doesn't always have to be a number. It can be words like few or some or all, but only when it's immediately followed by a noun. If I say some of the pie, then we're talking about a pronoun. But if I say some pie, now it answers the question, how much or how many? Some. How many fingers? 5. How many hours? Fewer. So I do want to point out that adjectives do not always come right before the noun, but they modify. If I say Nancy is nice, the word nice is also an adjective. It's modifying Nancy, and it's linked to her with this linking verb is. If I say the man with the hat looks sleepy. Okay. Looks is one of those linking verbs also. It's not something he's doing, it's something he is, right? So it's modifying the man. You could say the man is sleepy, right? The man with the hat looks sleepy. So again, it's describing the man, so it is an adjective. Okay. This is just to show you that sometimes adjectives can be distanced from the noun or pronoun that they are describing. All right. And again, they're linked to the object that they're describing by a linking verb. Okay. So find the adjectives. Please pass the creamy cheese. I have a hankering for a cheese sandwich. Well, I'm going to go ahead here and show you that cheese is a noun here, but it's an adjective here, right? What kind of cheese? Creamy. So creamy is the adjective. Now it's what kind of sandwich? It's a cheese sandwich. So cheese is the adjective. There are no adjectives here. Kind of a trick question, sorry. But he is a Choctaw. So a Choctaw is like saying I'm an American, right? That is a noun. But if we're asking what kind of tradition it is, and we say it's a Choctaw tradition, now Choctaw is describing the tradition. And it's also to be silent. That is also an adjective. All right, the weather forecast is vague. Why didn't I? Both of these should be, okay, so they both, what kind of forecast? A weather forecast. And what kind of forecast? It's vague, right? So it tells us what kind. Again, the dog that is barking across the street is normally quiet. Quiet tells us about the dog. If you were tempted to think normally is the adjective, normally is an adverb that modifies the word adjective, that modifies the adjective quiet. How, to what extent is he quiet? He's normally quiet. Okay, so normally doesn't tell us about the dog. He's not a normally dog, right? He's a quiet dog. All right, I like that shirt. Which shirt? That shirt. Okay, so it answers the question, which one? Nancy, the girl at McDonald's, is kind and understanding. Both of these words tell us something about Nancy, linked with the linking verb. Okay, I know I'm not going to get much more time here, so I'm going to have a part 2. We're moving on to verbs, which are quite complicated. There's a lot to them, and we're going to deal with some aspects of verbs. Verbs can have action, or they can, oh my gosh, I'm going to sneeze, hold on. Oh, Lord. Oh, excuse me. Or they can link, right? So they're either action or linking. So an action says what something does. A linking verb says what something just is. And there are different forms of the verb to be. Is, are, was, were, am. And then some words like smelled and felt, and we'll get to that in a second. So the action verbs, like I said, are something that someone does. For example, something they can do physically: write, describe, sit, jump, go, write, whatever. Okay, fly. But sometimes the action can be mental. The children hoped for a half day. I wish you would excuse yourself. Okay. Now, linking verbs, as I say, they connect the word to a concept. And we already saw that with Nancy is nice, right? So sometimes it can describe the object it's being linked to, but sometimes it just renames it. It gives it a different name, like the answer is 500, or John is a doctor, okay? The winners are happy. Okay, so happy in this case is an adjective modifying the winners. Now, in this case, the dog smelled horrible. If I said the dog smelled its food, now it's doing something. But if I say the dog smelled horrible, it's just something it is, right? So that's a linking verb. Same thing with this. John felt foolish. You could replace that with is. John is foolish. So this felt is a linking verb that just says what John is. Okay, if I said John felt around on the floor for his missing cell phone, right? Now he's performing an action, feeling around on the floor. Okay, that's the end of this video. I'm going to pick up verbs on video part 2. Over and out.